Well, Athenahealth CEO Jonathan Bush is stepping down after facing allegations of misconduct involving women. This clears the way for a potential sale of the $6.3 billion company. The activist hedge fund Elliott Management proposed buying Athenahealth for $160 a share early last month. Joining us now is Piper Jaffray analyst Sean Wieland, who just raised his price target for Athena from $155 to $179 a share. Sean, thank you so much for joining us here. Elliott itself, as we said, has made a bid for the company. Do you think that makes the most sense, or do you think a strategic buyer comes in here?
Hi, thanks for having me. So I think $160 here is the downside on the stock. I think that it makes a lot of sense for a strategic buyer to come in. Athenahealth is an asset that's really unique in the healthcare IT world. They're a software application that's in front of doctors' eyeballs at 100,000 doctors' offices around the country, kind of ground zero of where healthcare decisions are being made. And the industry right now is kind of a down market in the electronic health record world, if you will. That growth has slowed in that business, but I think that there's a much better growth days ahead. So I think that, personally, I think a strategic buyer is likely to step in here that wants to gain a foothold in the healthcare space, and could see a path forward to monetize this really amazing data asset that Athena has built.
So who could we be talking about? Who are some contenders here?
So as I wrote in my note, I think that the likely buyers would be big tech companies. I think Athena, at the end of the day, is a software company. And I think that the likely buyers would, again, be software companies. So Oracle, that wants to establish a greater presence in the healthcare space. Microsoft, that is already there in a lot of ways, but could get bigger. And then also I would throw out there Salesforce, that has made some really interesting inroads into the healthcare space in the CRM world, but could still go a lot deeper. Of course, the counterweight is possibility of them doing two big acquisitions in 1 year. It makes that one a little bit more suspect.
And Sean, as you know, Elliott had criticized some of the various things going on at Athena. They talked about executive turnover, especially in the CFO's office, product execution. If you have one of these strategic buyers coming in, would they be in a position, first of all, do you think Elliott is right about those issues? And second of all, do you think one of these buyers could actually come in and make some progress on those issues?
So there's no question there's been a revolving door in the C-suite of Athenahealth. And as you mentioned, particularly in the CFO role. There's a lot of factors that go into that, but there has been consistency at the top. Personally, I think it's unfair to really criticize the results that Athena has delivered over the past few years, because it's really endemic to the whole industry. Athena is growing top line about 10% now. That's still faster than most other health IT companies in the space. So I think it's overly critical to put all the blame on execution. I think that there's certainly, if hindsight being 2020, there was absolutely things that Athena would have done differently over the past 5 years. But I don't think that, I think that there are ways to, the company organically is on the way to improving growth in the business, pivoting their platform to what they call a microservices architecture, which I think is going to drive better growth days ahead, whether this company gets sold or not. And I think what's attractive from a anyone that's taking a longer term perspective in this potential acquisition is gonna see that, and I think it's a buyer's market right now on these kinds of names.
We haven't really talked about Jonathan Bush himself and this departure. Do you think there's a place in the corporate world for people like Jonathan Bush at this point? I mean, initially, as he said in his statement, some of the qualities that helped him build this company perhaps are some of the same qualities that helped bring him down in the end.
Well, I'll preface my comments by saying I'm an Athenahealth analyst, a health IT analyst, not a Jonathan Bush analyst.
Of course.
And I think that what happens in his personal life is, quite frankly, none of my business. And but one of the things that I've observed of him over the past 15 years that I've known him is his incredible passion for the business. As an analyst, I like founder CEOs. They bring an element of passion to the business that is unlike a hired gun that would come in and take over the company. I find that refreshing, and I think in this business where the healthcare industry is a $3 trillion industry with still immense friction costs. Like, we're not done in innovating with respect to IT and healthcare right now. We need someone with that passion and vision to drive that innovation agenda. And so, yeah, I do think that there is a role for Jonathan to play, and I'd be surprised if we don't hear about that sometime soon.
So let's talk about then at Athena, who could replace him, and does it make sense to hire someone to replace him while this sale process is going on?
I don't know. If the plan is to sell the company sooner rather than later, I think that it probably doesn't make sense to hire a new CEO. And but they have left open the option of staying the course. And there's just like there was no shortage of candidates when they were looking for a new CFO. I don't think that there would be any shortage of candidates that would be interested in this spot as a CEO.
And just very quickly here, you talked about that other software companies might be interested in Athena. Why wouldn't we see the vertical integration like we're seeing in the other parts of the healthcare industry and a healthcare buyer come in here?
I wouldn't rule it out. I think that companies like Optum, which is of course a big division of United, would fit in this. Although they have taken a path of really staying out of the electronic health record business, so that would definitely be a pivot for them. I think that the DNA at Athena is aligned more towards a software company, and so that's where my head goes. But certainly wouldn't rule out healthcare conglomerates coming in and buying the company.
All right. Well, we'll all stay tuned. Thank you so much for your time, Sean. We really appreciate it. Sean Wieland is a Piper Jaffray analyst who covers Athenahealth on this developing situation with the company.